Hey y'all, I'm Sherilyn. This is Just Goodness 333 Little Homestead. Welcome back to my kitchen. And today we are going to be canning pepper jelly for the first time. You may think, let me click off this video because this girl's never done this before and she doesn't know what she's doing. You know what? A lot of us get very nervous when we have to do something for the first time. And I've watched other canners and people doing things and I've thought, that's great. I'm going to do this. But then it comes down to doing it the first time and I think, oh, I'm nervous. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. So if you're one of those people, this video is just for you. I'm going to put this out there, recording myself doing something for the first time I've never done before. So if I can do it, you can do it too. If you're watching this video, you know my jelly was a success. Because if it flops, I'm probably not going to post this video, y'all. Probably not. So listen. Stick around. Watch me do something for the first time. I'm going to be using the Blue Book of Preserving, and I picked this up in my Walmart for between $7 and $8. And there is a whole section on jelly. Amazing, many recipes. And right here it is, jalapeno jelly. We're going to follow this book to the T. Let me show you what I'm going to use. Okay, right here I have approximately 3/4 of a pound of jalapeno peppers. These came off of my one remaining jalapeno pepper bush. And I've even had to pull some of the small ones because I only have one bush and I needed 3/4 of a pound. But that's what we have here. We're going to chop those and take the seeds out. Seeds make things hot. Unless you just like that mouth afire feeling, don't put the seeds in. My friend makes this, and when she makes it, she puts just a few seeds in. Like maybe she'll leave the seeds in one pepper. And I usually like wimp out, and I will just get the jalapenos and give them to her. And or the last time she made jelly, I just gave her jalapenos and a couple of jars, and she made a whole batch and gave me a few pints. But I want to do this myself. I grew these peppers, y'all. I'm going to conquer this. The recipe also calls for liquid pectin. I picked this up in Walmart. It's a double package. It was around $4 and change. And there's 2 pouches in each one of these. The recipe says that we are going to need 2 to 3 pouches. I'm going to err on the side of caution and do 3. We are going to need 2 cups of apple cider vinegar and, yes, 6 cups of sugar. You can put green food coloring in it, but that just don't look good to me. It looks like Jell-O. I love that golden, beautiful pepper jelly. Let's get started. Okay, can you see? Is that a good angle? Got my apron on, y'all. We're about to get busy. We're gonna cut the ends off of these. I've got a small bowl over here that I'm gonna put the ends and the seeds in. I'm gonna save these seeds. I'm gonna take the tip of that off and cut it right down the middle. You're going to want to take the seeds out. This much I do know about jalapenos. You're also going to want to take out that, if you don't want it hot, take out that little white rib stuff. And if you have sensitive hands, you may want to wear gloves. I'm going to try to be tough. I hope it's the smart thing to do. Okay, I have chopped up all the peppers, de-seeded them and chopped them up, and I've got some little pieces about this big. The recipe says you can use a food processor or you can use a blender. I'm going to use my blender since it's easier to clean. And we'll see if it works. Okay, now in total we're going to use 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, but they want us to use 1 cup, and I've just got this good organic apple cider vinegar. They want us to use 1 cup with the chopped peppers in the blender to make a puree. I'm breathing a little better with all this jalapenos. It's opening my sinuses, honestly. There we go. And my food processor is so loud. Okay. I probably wouldn't use an immersion blender, but this, look at this. Perfect. Now it says we're going to cook the combined pepper puree with the other cup of apple cider vinegar and sugar in a large saucepan. And it says to use high heat. So there we are on high. Add the second cup of the apple cider vinegar. Now, I've heard that you can use white vinegar, but it's going to taste like vinegar. It's going to taste more like pickled peppers instead of that deep, rich flavor that the cider vinegar is going to bring to it. So we're going to do that. Pour in our sugar. Y'all, I had to raid the food storage to get 6 cups of sugar. I'm going to stir this in really well and bring it to a boil. I forgot to leave any seeds in there, so I'm going to take the seeds off this chopping board and put them in there for a little heat. I was going to wash some dishes while I waited on this to boil, but the recipe says to stir constantly. I'm glad I went and looked back at the book. So we're going to stir. The recipe says to stir until the sugar is dissolved. And then bring it to a boil while continuously stirring for 10 minutes. After standing over a pot of boiling jalapeno peppers and apple cider vinegar, I don't think I'll have any sinus issues. Okay, it's starting to boil. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. I should have brought my phone in here so I could watch a video or something.
Right now, fantastic. Also, because it's not fixed now, I can take it out of here if I need to, and I can bring it to the wait table if I'm doing.
Okay, we have just a few seconds left on our 10-minute timer. And in the last few minutes, you can really start to see this changing texture. It's a lot thicker, a lot greener. Okay, and now the recipe says put in the liquid pectin, boil 10 minutes, and add the pectin. Okay, I'm doing the 3 pouches of pectin. Again, this was Certo pectin. It called for ball pectin, but they're all that's just a different name. I'm going to put the Certo in here. Stir that in. I'm going to do this 3 times. Move fast. You don't want anything to stick on the bottom of this pot. It's starting to get really thick. And we're going to do this for about a minute until... Okay, I can't stir down this boil. We've got this 1 minute here. We're going to do this for 1 minute. It's getting thick already. Alright, the book says that this recipe makes about 5 half-pint jars. I got 6 just to be sure. Sterile jars, and they're hot. I just took them out of the hot water. And this is already starting to set up. It's already jelly. Look at that. I'm going to fill them to about the about a half-inch headspace. And I'm going to do this fast because this is sitting up, so I might make a mess. And we got 6 jars. Yay! Okay, Okay, the water's coming up to heat in the water bath. I should have done that already, but it would have been in the camera shot. And I'm going to wipe the rims of my jars. Oh, they're hot. I'm going to put on my lids and rings. Just do them finger tight. I'm going to set them down. I'm going to wait for the water to warm up. Okay, the water's warm. So I'm going to put my jars in here. I'm using my pressure canner without the lid. We're going to water bath can these. And I'm just going to put them in here. I'm going to put a few empty jars to fill the space so they don't rock all around. And then I'm just going to cover these with 1 inch of water. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome cousin Sherry, who sent me these jars. Canning supplies are kind of hard to find nowadays, and was in a bind for some canning jars. She sent me some. Love you, girl. Okay, we've got all our jars in here. We're going to fill this up to 1 inch over the top of the jars. Okay, we've got our jars in here. We've got 1 inch of water above them. We're going to bring this to a boil and reduce it to a medium high and boil for 10 minutes. We're going to process for 10 minutes. And then we'll turn it off and let them sit for 5 minutes.
Sure, but they started out in wicker. So I think that triangle, that diamond, is a symbol of what it was something that went into their design. So hers is.
Okay, we are at a slow rolling boil here. The stove is still on high, so I'm going to put it down to medium high. I'm going to put the lid over the top and not seal it. I'm just going to set it loosely since I'm using my pressure canner. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. When that's done, we're going to turn off the heat and take off the lid and leave it sit for 5 minutes. Okay, they boiled for the 10 minutes on medium high and with the lid on, and then we turn the heat off and they've been sitting here for 5 minutes. Time to get them out and set them aside to cool. Look how pretty. Now this recipe is pretty concentrated. I may get with my friend and see what recipe she used, because I really like her recipe as well. And this is just pretty concentrated with the jalapenos. I may get her recipe if she'll give it for the next time. But for now, this is beautiful. And I did it for the first time. So I did it. I can jalapeno jelly for the first time, and you can too. Okay, all of our jars have sealed, and we're going to do a taste test. Here's the jelly. I'm going to open one of these jars, and I have got a bagel with cream cheese. I love this jelly with cream cheese. Look at that. That's some pretty thick jelly. We may have gotten away with just using 2 packages of the pectin. Let me... Hi.
Good donut.
Okay. Let me see here. It spreads really well. It's kind of, it's good and thick. May have gotten away with just using 2 packages of the liquid pectin. I think I already said that. All right, let's taste it. That's good. That's really good. And it's not too hot. Okay, like I said before, I made jelly for the first time. You can too. Go make some jelly.